I'm pretty much fully back at work now. At our last press conference here, I announced the creation of our Economic Recovery Committee to advise us on economic policy. That is now fully up and running. We had an excellent meeting shortly after its launch, and George Osborne chaired another meeting last week at which David Freud, our welfare supremo, joined the committee at that meeting. Now, whoever wins the next general election, the next government of this country will need to make a really clean break with the past and set about fixing our economy. I'm absolutely determined to do that, and I believe it means speaking very clearly and frankly about what has gone wrong and how we're going to put it right. I don't want to win the next election on some sort of false prospectus that doesn't recognise how difficult things will be. I want to use the time between now and then to take people with us for the difficult decisions that will have to be taken. So on Friday, I began that process with a pretty frank speech about the fundamental weaknesses in our economy and about our responsibility to tackle them. In the next few weeks, I'll be making a series of speeches setting out the Conservative economic strategy. First, solving Labour's debt crisis by making sure government lives within its means and delivers more for less. And it's not just government that has to live within its means, we all do. So today I want to make a small announcement that shows our expectation that government and all taxpayer-funded institutions should start by leading by example. The BBC is one of our most important national institutions. It plays a vital role in bringing the country together. I want to see it prosper and succeed and continue to be a fantastic cultural asset for Britain. But the BBC also needs to maintain public support, and I want to see it leading by example at a time when the whole country is tightening its belt. So I can announce today that we would freeze the BBC licence fee for 1 year, and we will be challenging the government over this in Parliament. I think that would be an important signal to the country of the need for all public institutions in these difficult economic times to do more with less. The second step in these speeches will be to restore financial confidence and bring back proper regulation of the banks and financial markets, and I'll be explaining our approach to that in a speech shortly. Third, we must cut the cost of decades of social failure by ending mass welfare dependency. And fourth, we need to rebalance our economy by stimulating investment in the industries of the future. So we're not so reliant on debt, so we're not so reliant on a few sectors like financial services and housing, and we're not so reliant on one part of the country for our economic growth, and we actually make sure that prosperity is spread to every corner of Britain. These speeches will set out our route map to recovery. So if we win the next election, that is how a new Conservative government would get to work fixing our broken economy alongside fixing our broken society. Solving Labour's debt crisis, restoring financial confidence, tackling welfare dependency, and rebalancing our economy. This route map to recovery would move Britain beyond the failed economic consensus of recent years and towards the hope of a strong and sustainable economy for the country's long-term future. So over the next few weeks, in the run-up to the G20 conference, I'll be setting out our approach in each of these 4 areas, showing that the country now has a very clear choice between a Conservative Party that really understands just how broken our economy is and the nature of the failed economic consensus that's brought us to this point, and a Labour Prime Minister who is so tied to this consensus that he cannot escape it and offer the country the economic change that we so badly need. At the same time, I want to get out on the ground and talk with people across the country who are suffering as a result of Labour's debt crisis. I think people are looking for some straight talking. They want answers, and they want to know politicians care about the very real effects this crisis is having on them. Whether it's the dads who've been made redundant, young people who still can't get a mortgage, entrepreneurs struggling to keep their businesses afloat and to get the credit they need. So today I'll be getting out of Westminster and going to Watford for one of my Cameron Direct meetings. I'll be doing the same in Milton Keynes and Fleetwood next week. I've already done 25 of these town hall style events from Brighton to Belfast. That means apparently that almost 5,000 people have had the opportunity to ask me any unscripted question they like, including what I think about UFOs and our potential conversations with them. One question I had. I aim to cover all of the marginal seats with Cameron Direct meetings over the next year. And of course, any of you are very welcome to come and join me at any of these meetings. They're all open to the press. I think they're all streamed on the internet as well. So with that, thank you for coming, and I'll try and answer any questions you've got.